how to add your first product on Amazon UAE. Follow along for a full step-by-step tutorial. Let's get started. Hey everyone, my name is Orin and welcome back to my channel. If you're interested in learning more about online businesses, mindset, and all things entrepreneurship, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. When you plan to sell on Amazon, the very first step is for you to decide how you're going to sell the product on Amazon. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's log into our Amazon dashboard and have a look. In order for you to add a product on Amazon, all you have to do is go up here on the menu and then go to catalog and to add a product. And this will bring you to this page in your catalog. This is an updated page in the Seller Central. It used to look completely different even up until a few weeks back. I'm also going to show you the previous version in case your Seller Central shows that. This is how the previous one looked, and these were the options. The options were sell an existing product or sell a new product. Inside of the new dashboard, the options are also the same, but I'm going to help you navigate to find these same options. This is where you make the decision. Do you want to sell an existing product on Amazon? Which means, do you want to sell a product that is already sold on Amazon? Or you want to sell a brand new product as a new brand and a new brand owner? For example, you want to sell an existing product on Amazon. Now, this is very straightforward. All you do is add the name of the product that you'll be selling in the search box here. For example, you want to sell baby toys. So we're going to go in the search bar and type in baby, and then you'll see a bunch of different options that will populate, and you can do baby toys. Now it's showing us many options of baby toys. And as you can see, you have all these options on the right side. You can simply click sell this product and start to sell. Basically, this is how you do it. All you have to do is click on select a condition and then select new, and then you'll have the option to start to sell, and you can just click on this and start to sell. And you'll also come across some of the listings which will say apply to sell. If they're asking you to apply to sell, then that means it's either a trademarked product or a very good branded product, and you will require approval before you can sell. So let me click in one of them and show you guys how it works. Let's go ahead and try to apply to one of them. So we'll click on apply to sell. And so this is where your application is, and you can just do request approval. But keep in mind that some will get approved, some may not. And for this one particularly, they have actually mentioned that however, we are not accepting applications to sell. So most likely they will not even approve it because they have already clearly mentioned it. So make sure you check all of this before you apply. For the other products, you can right away click sell this product and start to sell. But there is something very important, and that is that you make sure that you check the limitations button, because sometimes there are some limitations and you need to make sure you comply with Amazon's rules and regulations. If you decide to go ahead with selling an existing product on Amazon, that is great. And it has its own benefits and it's somewhat hassle-free. It's good to make a quick buck, but then this doesn't fall under the private label category. This is then a completely different business model, and you are now a reseller and not a brand. If you decide to go ahead with the second option, which is to add a completely new brand as a new brand owner, then that is private label, which a lot of people choose to do. And for this, you'll be needing three things. You will need these three things before you list any product. Number one, you'll need a seller account. Number two, your order needs to be ready. And number three is you'll need GS1 barcodes. Let's discuss each of them. Before moving ahead, let me know in the comments about your current stage in your Amazon journey. I would love to know that. Number one is the first stage of selling on Amazon is to create a Seller Central account. And so of course you need to have your seller account ready so that you can list your product. In case you haven't registered with Seller Central yet, I have a full step-by-step tutorial on how to set up your Seller Central account with Amazon UAE. The link is in the description box below. You can watch that if you need. If you're not in the UAE, it might still be worth watching, as 90% of Seller Central setups are the same. The best thing about Amazon Seller Central in the Middle East is that it is free of charge, unlike US and other places. Whether you open an account as an individual or a business, they both will fall under the professional accounts, and there are no monthly fees for these seller accounts. So the second thing is, at this point, you need to have your order placed to your manufacturer and fully ready to go. The shipment should be already with you, or at least on the way to you, because this is also the time when you will request for an appointment for your shipment drop-off right after you finish listing your first product. And the last one is you need to have a barcode for your product. And this can be sometimes a little bit confusing, somewhat overwhelming for some people. So let's get into it. To sell on Amazon, you will need a barcode, and it will act as your product identification for Amazon and also for your product catalog. I have a full detailed video on barcodes for Amazon. It covers everything that you possibly need to know about barcodes, from the basics to what it does, where to get them, and even how to apply for GTIN exemption. The link for the video is in my description box below. You can watch that if you need. Let's jump back into the dashboard and see how to add a product on Amazon from scratch that is a brand new product. Let's have a look at all these tabs again. So first we have the product image. So you can upload your product image right from here, but we are going to skip this. The next one is product ID. So this is to find your product in Amazon's catalog using one of the product identifiers like the UPC or ASIN, but we are going to skip this and go straight into the blank form. The blank form is where you start to list your brand new product. For any reason, if your dashboard is still showing the previous version, then all you do is just go into the second option of selling a brand new product and you will be taken to the same page. Beside the blank form is the bulk template, and this is to add multiple listings at once, but we don't need this right now. So we are going to go back into the blank form and we are going to click on start. Once you click on start, it will bring us to our listing page. This is the first page of our listing form. On the left side are the attributes. There is required, recommended, and all attributes. I have selected recommended for now so that I can show you more options, so it's easier for you. You can start with required so that you can just fill up all the required ones at the beginning, and then you can go back and change it again and fill in all the more information that's needed. I highly suggest you to do all attributes. The more information, the better it is for your customers to buy from you. As this is an updated version, I honestly have not also seen this option before. So the first thing is generate listing content, and as you can see, it says early access, try now. This is an AI tool that I also haven't seen before. This is very new that they have added. Let's check it out. So here it says generate content for title, description, and bullet points from a short input. So let's click try now. So here basically you're going to put some inputs and give them some details about your brand and upload an image, very similar to Shopify, the AI tool that they have when you list your product. So basically what it does is it will take all of this information and try to create a listing for you, but they have also mentioned here that you must check everything carefully to see if this really describes your product, and you are responsible for making sure that everything is aligned. We are doing a full tutorial, so we are going to skip that and do our proper listing. So let's go back, and so the first one here is item name. For example, you're selling a baby toy car. So here in the product type, once you type your item name, it will give you some options. Basically, once you type out your item name, it will try to match a category for you. You can select confirm if you think that these are the right categories. We are going to go ahead and select other. It's always best to go on Amazon and check in what category your competitors are selling. Just go to Amazon and search up for same or similar products and your competitors and find out in what categories and subcategories they are selling these products, and try to look for the best sellers or the top sellers, and those are the categories that you should be going with. Okay, so here we have a list of product categories. You can search for your product category in the search bar, or you can select something from the drop down list. So let's go ahead and see what could be a good category for our brand. Baby product, it's not a baby product really, so we need to look for baby toys or toys. So we go into toys, and then baby and toddler toys, collectible toys, maybe it's not electronic toy. What else is here? Let's do play vehicles, and here we can do cars and race cars. Select, and now it's going to take us to the next page. So this is the product identity page. As I have selected recommended, so it's showing me more options, but let's have a quick look. So according to whatever we have selected, it has already placed everything accordingly. So this is all the information that we have put in so far. We have our item name, we have the product type, we have recommended browse notes, which are the categories that we have selected. It just makes it easier for your customers to find you. Then we have variations. So if you have variations of this product, then you can choose this and then go ahead with whichever option is appropriate. But as this is our first product, we don't have a variation. We are selling this as our first product. We are going to leave this blank. So then we have the brand name. This is where you put your brand name, whatever it is that you have decided. Let's type in anything. For example, the brand name is Dune Toys. Make sure to go here and learn more about brand name policy. If you have a brand name and if you don't have a trademark, then you might need an approval. This is called a brand approval and you have to request for it. I have full videos on the topic of brand approval. The link for the video is in the description box below. You can check them out if you need. Now the external product ID is where your barcode will go. The external product ID is your barcode that you have to get from GS1 or at least from GS1 verified resellers. So you can put in your barcode here and then select UPC. If you don't have a barcode, you can always check this box and say I don't have a product ID, and this is when you are requesting for a GTIN exemption. I have explained in detail all of this in my barcodes video. Let's come back to the brand name. For example, you don't want to get the brand approval, or you don't have a brand name yet, you're just selling a generic product, or you have a brand name but you want to open a case with Amazon later about the brand approval, then you can start off by ticking this product. This product does not have a brand name. Once you click this, Amazon will automatically make this generic. It could be okay to start your listing as generic, but I don't recommend it so much for the reason that it doesn't really look good as you selling a generic product and people may not consider you as a brand. And just go ahead and look for something better and buy from your competitors. For example, we are doing this product does not have a brand name. Also, this product does not have a product ID. And then let's go ahead and click next. And now you have already submitted for an exemption. And here they're saying UPC exemption approved. You have been granted an exemption to list without a product ID. This takes up to 1 hour to take effect. If you're unable to submit this listing right away, please save this listing as draft and retry after some time. So you can do that and you can click acknowledge. While selecting the categories, you'll come across some categories which will have these locks beside them. These are gated categories and you'll have to apply in order for you to sell in these categories. These are usually sensitive products such as liquids, beauty items, food, especially baby food, etc. And you'll be needing approval if you want to sell in those categories. So it'll bring us to this page. This is the description page. And the first one is product description. This is where you add all the description about your product. And the second one is, of course, the bullet points, which is super important. And the last one is to upload all your images, and you can upload multiple files from here together. Now let's head over to Amazon and check for a product that your competitor is selling. So here we've searched for toys, and for example, you want to sell this Rolls-Royce car. Here you can go inside your competitor's listing and check how they have put all the description. You can take some ideas from this, how they have put everything, and then make your own. And you can also see how they have added these little cars with the bullet points, so you can take some ideas from their creativity and also their description. So once you fill all of that, the next page is product details. So the first one is target audience keyword. You need to do a good keyword research and then add in all the important keywords and relevant keywords that you think is important for your product. For example, we'll just do kids toys for kids. If you run out of space, you have the option to add more. The next one is model number. So model number is something that you can make up on your own. It can be anything. I would suggest you to use something that has to do with your brand name or your shop name and add in some numbers with it. Something that you can use to have an organization with all your products. For example, your shop is called Toy Car Shop, and so it could be TCS123. The model name will be whatever your product is. So for example, it is the black Rolls-Royce. Now for the manufacturer, this is important, and I would suggest you to put it as your brand instead of your manufacturer's, because this will show up. It's best to not use your manufacturer's name because it's your brand after all. So you can just do toy car shop. When we were listing the product, I think we did Dune car shop, if I remember. Whichever it is, it's just for example. You get the point. Whatever it is that your brand name is, you can just use that. Then for special features, you can put whatever it is. I'm using flashing lights. Material, now this one has the star aesthetics beside it. So this is something that you have to put. So for this listing, I'm doing alloy steel. Number of items, let's do 50. So for item type name, you can put in some phrases or words that your customers might put in the search to look for the product. I'm doing toy cars for boys car for 7-year-old. This is also not compulsory, but just for the purpose of the example, I'm just gonna write Phantom because that's a Rolls-Royce Phantom. But again, it really depends on your product and you can even skip this. But like I said before, the more information you put, the better it is for your product to show up in searches. I'm gonna do the color black. I'm gonna skip the size. The part number is the same as your model number and you can put that unless you actually have a different part number. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. I'm gonna skip the theme and power source. Of course, it doesn't need electricity. So all of this I'm going to skip. And then there is the power plug. This is a compulsory. You have to let them know if it needs any of this. So we are gonna do no plug. We can skip the operation mode. This doesn't have anything to do with us. And here you can provide the recommended minimum age for this product in months. So I'm just gonna do 5. This is just for the purpose of example. I'm not gonna change it because I made a mistake here. It's not gonna be 5 because we have to do it in months. It's not appropriate for a 5-month baby, but it is appropriate for a 5-year-old boy, and ages up to 35 or 37 can buy this car because this is a collectible car. So just make sure to add these number in months. And then here it says included components. So here you have to specify the item that is included in the product. You'll have a lot of options from here. Also, whatever product that you're selling, Amazon will give you the options accordingly. So because we have selected a toy car, that's why this is giving us all these options. Just for the example, I'm just going to do headlights, and then we can skip all of this and we can save as draft or submit. Let's have a look at the offer and safety and compliance. As I've already showed you the main product details section with the recommended from the attributes, I'm going to change this to required, and now you can see everything looks great and everything is filled. And I'm going to do the same for offer. So here first we have the quantity. So for example, for the quantity we can do 100, and for price let's do 50. Offering condition type, it's going to be a new product. And then here you have the fulfillment channel. First one is that they're asking if you're going to ship your product by yourself, which is FBM, but we're going to go ahead with FBA, which is what most of us are doing. But you have the option to select whichever one you want. And then these are just some details that you have to fill: the item length, item width, and the item height. So depending on whatever product that you are selling, you have to fill in this section. And then down here we have the package dimensions. So this is your packaging dimension, and you have to also put all the details accordingly. And the last one is safety and compliance. So here this says provide any safety warnings printed on the item's packaging. For example, you're selling clothing and it has a poly bag. It's very, very important that you put safety suffocation labels on them. Country of origin is China, that is fine. If there is a warranty and all of that you want to add, it really depends on the kind of product that you have listed and you are selling, because we have listed toy, which can have some batteries and it can have some complicated things in it. That's why this has so many things. But if you go for a very simple product like a storage box with a lid or something like that, then this will completely be different and it will look very different. If you decide to go ahead with FBA and not FBM, and you fill out everything and you save and submit, then Amazon will send you the FNSKU. It is basically the barcode that Amazon gives you, and you'll need to stick this barcode on each of your product. Not to be confused with UPC barcodes that we put earlier in the listing, which you have to purchase from GS1 or a GS1 verified reseller. If barcodes confuses you, again, the video is in the link, you can watch that. Besides all of this, there is something very important that you need to keep in mind. To get your customers to buy your products on Amazon, all that you have is your listing. So make sure that your listing is well optimized with all of these following things. There must be at least 7 images. They must be a mix of product images, infographics, and lifestyle images. Make sure to have a keyword optimized title, and it's better if it is at least 200 to 300 characters long. Make sure to add at least 6 to 8 bullet points so that it's easier for your customer to understand the features of your product. Try to be creative with this so that when your customers read it, they feel the urge to buy it. You can add some real life examples, some emotions, and it should not feel like they're reading an instruction manual. And lastly, of course, a very good description with all the information. Make sure your description has all the information that your customer is looking for before they make the purchase. Listing is done, but your job is not done yet. You need to make sure that you do a good research on how to rank your product on page 1 or at least on the top pages. I have a full video on how to rank your product on page 1 of Amazon. The link for it is in the description box below. I would suggest you to watch that. That's how you list your first product on Amazon. Good luck with your Amazon journey. If this video was helpful or added any value, please give us a big thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for watching.